Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Okay, did you see it? Come on, you know what I'm talking about. The 5 versus 5 presser. What an extraordinary event this is. I'll talk more about my feelings about the event itself. Carl Frampton used the word iconic. I don't know whether that's quite the word, but I know what he means because this is an extraordinary event that's coming up. And the 5 versus 5, the opponents, the matchups were announced. All the fighters came out, sat at the top table wearing masks, and they were announced one at a time. The matchups consisted of 2 heavyweight fights, a featherweight fight, a middleweight fight, and a light heavyweight fight. Okay, and the system is that if a fighter wins a contest, 1 point to the winner's team. If a fighter wins by knockout, 2 points. A draw, no points for anyone. Okay, so it's winner takes all the marbles. And there are team captains. I'll come to those in a minute. Now the matchups were announced. Let's go through the first heavyweight. Actually, the first one that was mentioned, the first fight that was revealed, is going to be between Daniel Dubois and Filip Hrgović. What a fantastic matchup that would headline most other cards. Don't forget, all of this is on the undercard of Beterbiev versus Bivol. This is the undercard, for Christ's sake. You know, maybe I'll mention Beterbiev and Bivol later. I'll probably give them their own video because that in itself is an extraordinary fight. We're talking about the undisputed light heavyweight championship. But nevertheless, a heavyweight matchup between Dubois, coming off a very, very good victory over Jarrell Miller. Proved, I think, quite a bit in that. Had to walk through a bit of fire. Had to, show a bit of an engine, which he did. Stop Miller with seconds to go in the final round. And then you've got Filip Hrgović, the mandatory IBF contender, taking on Dubois, an extremely dangerous opponent, despite being the IBF mandatory. Now, okay, they threw a load of money at him. I get it. So he's not going to say no. But nevertheless, to not sit on your ranking, and which he could have done, all credit to him. Very good fighter. I think this is a brilliant matchup. Okay, featherweights. Who we got at featherweight? Well, we've got on Matchroom side. By the way, Dubois is Queensberry. Filip Hrgović is Matchroom. The featherweights we've got on the Matchroom side. We've got Ray Ford, who had that fantastic final round win to win the WBA featherweight title, and we've got on the Queensberry side, we've got a guy who many people believe should have won his last contest, which was for a world title, Nick Ball. Okay, a little fireball. I mean, he's like a little terrier. I mean, they had the face-offs after the announcement, and Nick Ball, of course, is only about 5'2", 5'3", but there's something about him. And Ray Ford, cool as a cucumber, was again towered over him, looked down at him. That's going to be a war. That's got to be. How can that fail to deliver? Nick Ball against Ray Ford. Fantastic matchup. And okay, middleweights. Hamza Shiraz for Queensberry. What a great choice that is. Undefeated, has shown an awful lot of promise. You can never guarantee whether someone's going to be a world champ, but you would think Shiraz has a very good chance of being a world champion. Excellent fighter. Who's he fighting for against Queensberry? Ammo Williams, one of the leading contenders. Brilliant matchup. Hamza Shiraz, Ammo Williams. Okay. Interesting as well because Hamza has always come across as a very calm, collected sort of a character, whereas Ammo Williams, I don't mean this disrespectfully, it's common knowledge, he's had his mental health issues, can be a bit fiery, a bit of a hothead. Interesting contrast of characters there. But in terms of talent, fantastic matchup. Who would you pick? I mean, I'm not making any predictions in this video whatsoever, but a brilliant, brilliant matchup, okay? And all of these fights could headline cards separately. This is the amazing thing. Okay, so we go to the light heavyweights. Now, this is a really interesting one. It's a domestic matchup. We're dropping down perhaps a level in terms of status because these guys, well, certainly in the case of the Queensberry choice, perhaps not as well known. I think Queensberry's choice last boxed at the York Hall. Now he's on this incredible card, and that's Willie Hutchinson of Scotland. And who's he fighting against? The Matchroom guy? Craig Spider Richards. Fantastic domestic matchup. Would definitely, not pay-per-view, but it would definitely headline a very good, Saturday night card. It's on the undercard. It's another fight. But what a matchup. Who are you going to pick? I mean, probably off the top of my head, I'd probably slightly favour Spider. I'm not making a prediction. But Willie Hutchinson, have you seen him? He's good. I think he was 168 fighter and he moved up to 175 at some point in his career. But what a great matchup, a great domestic dust-up. Brilliant. So who have we got left now? Who have I missed out? Oh, how can I forget? Turkey El Sheikh's choice, because Frank chose 2 weight divisions, Eddie chose 2 weight divisions. The 5th was chosen by our friend, the excellent Turkey, who we owe an immense amount to for all these incredible cards that are being put on. What did he pick? He picked the heavyweight division. For Queensberry, who have we got? Who have we got for Queensberry? Can you guess? 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 Lost recently? Zill Zang. Zill Zang coming back from a little bit of a, shock defeat to Joseph Parker. Who else lost recently? Matchroom. What heavyweights have Matchroom got? Who's going to fight Zill Zang? Believe it or not, unbelievably, Deontay Wilder. How the hell did Deontay Wilder end up working with Eddie Hearn? He hates the guy, doesn't he? Even Eddie says, well, he hates me. But Eddie after the presser was being interviewed, and he said, look, I looked at the heavyweights because Turkey El Sheikh picked the division. He said, I'm a bit thin on the ground with the heavies. Who could I sign? So he just went out and signed Deontay Wilder, who I don't know what his situation is with PBC. PBC are leaking fighters like water into the Titanic. Do you know what I mean? They're sinking. PBC are sinking because their heavyweight gem, damaged goods though he is, because of course he lost to Parker. Interesting. They both lost to Parker and now they're being matched. But what a contrast of styles. Zill Zang, big guy, 19 stone, hits very hard, very good technique, does get hit and does gas late. In fact, not late, he probably gasses in the middle rounds. Deontay Wilder, dreadful performance against Parker, still has that, atomic bomb of a right hand. Incredible. Incredible power. Fascinating matchup. And in fact, Wilder spoke extensively during the presser about his, he admitted he lost a little bit of love for the sport and he's back on it now and he's got people around him that care about him. And he alluded without being too, it was all a bit cryptic, but he said, I had some rough things going on. I had some situations I had to sort out, things I wasn't happy and blah, blah, blah. But now I'm back on it. Well, we'll see. They'll need to be back on it because Zill Zang, 40 years old, and Wilder ain't that far off 40. We're talking about two fellas who have probably seen better days, but you put them together, you can get two guys who are slightly over the hill, put them together, they can produce a brilliant, brilliant fight. Fascinating. And again, another fight that would headline any card anywhere else in the world. It's just one of the fights on the undercard. Amazing. Now, it didn't stop there, because with regard to the undisputed light heavyweight fight, Dmitry Bivol and Beterbiev, and also we've got the heavyweight undisputed fight coming up. These are about 2 weeks apart, which is, of course, between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. Who do they get to bring out the undisputed belt? None other than one of the greatest fighters ever. This guy just turns up to bring a belt out, all right? Arguably the finest lightweight ever, Roberto Duran. Recently in hospital, I think he had a pacemaker fitted, heart surgery. That's always a nasty thing. He turns up, brings the belt out. Roberto, well, fantastic to see Roberto. He's 70 years of age, smiling, looking happy. What a privilege to see such a great guy. But also, there's one other thing we got to mention, which was this incredible promo film that looked like a miniature 5, 6, 7, 8 minute, whatever it was, Guy Ritchie film. And it was Frank and Eddie, and there was I recognised the lady who was, they're meant to be playing cards, but the cards represent the fighters. And there's a lady there, she's comparing it, she's the compare, if you like. Frank's on one side, Eddie's on the other, and they're talking about their individual fighters. And every one of the fighters was also in the film, playing a character. And it was just like a Guy Ritchie movie. So Frank talks about his fighter, the fighter appears, does a little bit of acting, and then Eddie goes to his fighter. Go see it. I mean, I'm not going to tell you all about it because that'll spoil it, but you go see it. Go and check out that incredible promo film, it's like a little mini Hollywood epic. You think the others were good that we've seen? I mean, this Turkey Alashek, God only knows how much this is costing him. God only knows. We're talking hundreds of millions, surely, with all these. We're in fantasy land. Absolute fantasy land. And listen to what I'm saying, okay? Because I know some of you are going to think this guy's an old fart. I've watched boxing since I was a kid. The first fight I can remember watching, which probably wasn't the first fight I saw, but the first fight I recall watching was the third Muhammad Ali Ken Norton fight. I didn't know what I was watching because I was only 7 or 8, 9 maybe. I don't think I turned 9, but I might have done. And it wasn't until I got to sort of 11, 12 that I really began to understand the sport, understand technique and so on and so forth. So, and I'm 57, nearly 57. So I've in 45 years of studying this sport, of following this sport, of following different careers of famous fighters who are in the Hall of Fame from start to finish, I have never seen anything like this. This is a golden era in boxing. Right? What is happening right now. And all you people, thankfully you're a minority. I hope you're a bloody minority, because I would hate to think there was that many idiots in the world who say, boxing's dead, boxing's dying, boxing's, all this, moan, fucking moan, whine. Like, you're spoilt. You're just remarkably spoilt, and you don't know you're born. You're having filet mignon stuffed in your mouth, and you're complaining that you've only got 4 bottles of champagne to wash it down with instead of 5. Just shut the fuck up, all right, and enjoy it, because it ain't going to last forever. And this is a golden era. You will look back on this era, these matchups, these Saudi cards, and you will say, wasn't that incredible? And if you've got kids, or you meet much younger people when you're later on in life, like I am now, you'll reminisce about it, and you'll say, and they'll say, wow, did you watch that? Did you watch it live? Oh, what was it like? What was the reaction like? Carl Frampton had it right. He said post-presser, he said, this is an iconic event. And it is. It really, really is. Really, really is. And the excellent Turkey, who I've made fun of relentlessly, we have to give him credit, because he's slinging gargantuan amounts of money around. I guess if you're a billionaire oil guy with bottomless pockets, you can do that. But we are in fantasy land, okay, as boxing fans. Enjoy it, love it. We love boxing, all right? Let's all enjoy it together. That's my message, all right? But go and see, especially the promo, go and see that little mini Hollywood thing, that Guy Ritchie movie. Brilliant is. Anyway, look, you got any comments, leave them below, and of course subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the like button. No, I will say that. But go and have a look at it. I can't wait for this. I can't wait. This might just be the best card I can recall. This goes back to the days of Don King at his peak, when he was putting 5 world title fights on one card. But this is probably better in terms of matchups, in terms of 50-50 fights. Incredible. Absolutely extraordinary. Go and have a look at it. Let me know what you think. I'll read your comments. And come on, we love boxing. Let's enjoy it together. Catch you later. Bye for now.